So what's up, Truth Tellers? It's time for Truth Talks. I'm excited to, of course, have you join my Truth Avengers and share my thoughts on stories all of you are talking about. And if you're new here, welcome to the Truth family. We've been here since day one. We appreciate y'all. But if you can go over to Foxhole right now or YouTube at 8 o'clock, today we're talking about Polygamy 2.0. So make sure you leave a comment and tell us what you think, because we're going to talk about it. You know, if you do what you know, it don't mean a thing unless you like to swing.
Oh, Lord.
According to polygamists, I'm just saying, you know. So come on over there. And how many y'all? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what's up? I'm Ryan Cameron, and we're back with another great episode of Truth Talks. And it's my birthday. Hey! We got a lot to talk about. But I'm saying,
It's your birthday.
Kudos to me.
Birthday boy.
Kudos to me. Shout out to everybody who is a Scorpio. I am so sorry that your mother could not hold the water and you're not a Sagittarius. It's okay. First, let me hit you with my truth. Of course, it is my birthday, and I'm very excited to be here on the set of my Truth Avengers. And help me welcome Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
What's up, Doc Squad? It's your favorite doc, Dr. Bryant, psychology expert, life coach, best-selling author, president of NAACP, and so much more. But what's most important is I'm here with my Truth Talks family, and we're going to bring y'all the Truth Talks, so get your truth juice ready, because I got mine.
It's a birthday truth juice. Okay. Next up, I got my man, Willie Moore Jr.
Y'all's is Willie Moore Jr., syndicated radio host, host of the Love You More show, and Sagittarius.
Yay!
Let's get that out the way. Birthday's coming soon. Preferably we'll celebrate like we're doing Ryan today. And I'm here for 3 reasons. I want to give you some faith. Of course, we're going to have some fun. And then I'm going to be frivolously furious with somebody on this stage because I get frustrated with somebody in this area. But you enjoy it, and so we're going to keep doing it. Welcome to Truth Talks.
Yeah. And your favorite millennial's favorite millennial, Bree Renee. Tell them who you are.
Hey, everybody. I go by Bree Renee, straight from the A, radio and television personality, actress, producer, and influencer. You might have seen me on any screen that you have, your iPad, your phone, your laptop. We on all of them, okay? And speaking of taking over all the screens, you can catch me right here Monday through Friday with my Truth Talks fam on Truth Talks. So go to YouTube. I want to see y'all in the comments because I'm the one that's going to be clapping back with y'all. I'm going to be saying whether I agree or disagree. So meet me in those comments over on YouTube.
Come on,
Indeed. And fellas, I hear she's single. So if you go in those comments, she'll see that too. All right? Truth Talks is that show that says all the things you were thinking from pop culture to politics. But we also like to have fun. So think of us as your new BFF. So let's get into it with today's hottest topics on Trending Truths.
So Destiny's Child reunited at an opening night on Broadway for the musical Death Becomes Her. I know that was a good show. Beyonce and Kelly Rowland showed up and showed out for their fellow bandmate Michelle Williams for her performance in the Broadway play. Now Beyonce posted these photos and clips that got fans all excited to see the trio together again. Michelle saw the sentimental post and commented, "I try not to cry too early in the day, but my sister's forever." Do you guys think this is a tease for a Destiny's Child reunion, or was this just simply sisters supporting sisters? You know, because fans always, every time they see them together, they want them to be together on the stage.
Yeah.
They are not getting back together.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been knowing, Destiny's Child since they were like 15 years old.
Since they were
actually
children.
performed like at my step show. They were so unknown that they did the No 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 song, and then they came back out and did the remix because they didn't have no other records.
Okay.
So later on, of course, Beyonce became the superstar. It's almost like going to support them. It's like we're not getting back together. It's almost like like the Michael Jackson going back to the Jackson 5. I'm gonna do this one time, but we're not getting back together because I'm all alone on it.
Yeah.
2017, I'm sitting at the Stellar Awards, and they're taking me through the back, and they're like, "Okay, Will, it's time to go on stage." And I see these big security guards coming in, and I know that Michelle is there because she's doing a lot in the gospel community. And then, of course, I see Kelly. I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." But then from the rafters, they bring bring out Beyonce.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, so it was a really, really great moment, but I think that moment is over, though.
Yeah, I
Just
hate
support
that.
his friend.
Yeah, I hate that people can't even take support as support for face value. Now they always got to think there's some money attached to it later.
It's time to work.
Yeah, it's like, no,
No,
I'm
just
just
support.
showing love.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think they're getting back together. I think it's just they tend to support each other here and there when they do things. I mean, they were like together. They grew up together, like they're sisters.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to Dr. B's shows, because they're going to think we getting back together.
And if you want to see the Cater to You video, when they bring all the 3 people on stage, I'm the one that gets the dance from Kelly. I'm just saying, you need to see that.
were? Wow.
On the DVD, it's worldwide. I'm worldwide. Y'all better quit slipping on me, man.
In
What
the chair.
That's me.
That's
That's right. R&B singer and songwriter Khalid recently came out as gay after he was allegedly outed by another musician, Hugo Almonte. Khalid says the revelation about his sexuality should not be an earth-shattering event. He tweeted a pride flag emoji with the text, "There y'all go. Next topic, please," and said, "I'm gay, and that's okay."
Listen, y'all, Hugo said he did not intend to out anyone, but rather sought to, I quote, "to share my story and share how we tried to use his power to silence me because I simply ended our relationship." In 2024, why are we still tripping about an artist's sexuality? From Lil Nas X to Janelle Monáe, artists are still selling what? They're still selling while living outside of the closet or the box, y'all, right? So do y'all think that artists are afraid to come out about the sexuality because fans don't see them the same? Or you think it's that whole corporate America thing?
I think it's a very disgruntled former flame. Why would he have to out that man out like that? And then he posted the picture of them together, and then he said, "I didn't do this. I just wanted to, tell my story because I broke up with him." Well, if you broke up with him, go on about your business.
Hey, man, you already know when it comes to them breakups, sometimes somebody gonna take it to social media. It's just a public diary. But I think that, to answer your question, I think that it's more so on the fan base side, and corporate backs it because they know it's gonna fuel the money. We still live in a society where people are very judgmental about your sexual preference, especially if it's different from theirs. So, like an R&B artist like Khalid, his fan base might lessen because men aren't going to want to listen to a man sing, even though it's just about love and he's not singing him in the records. Men are just going to be like, "Oh, I'm not listening to him because he gay."
Yeah, when they said, "Can we just talk?" I thought he was talking to somebody else.
He sounded like Kermit the Frog to me. All of his songs sound like Kermit the Frog to me.
Hey, listen, but today is the day that you've been waiting for. Black
My birthday!
Friday.
It's
And your birthday.
For sure.
Of course,
your
it's Black
birthday.
Friday, Ryan Friday, of course. The big question is, which shopping holiday has the best deals, Black Friday or Cyber Monday? In a recent survey, 59% of people said that they plan to shop Cyber Monday, surpassing 53% on Black Friday. There tends to be more deals online, and of course, it's more convenient than the stores. Why Cyber Monday? Why did it get started? Why do people still fall for the bait and hook of Black Friday or Cyber Monday? We all know the items they advertise, like flat screen TVs, hopefully groceries going on sale. They fork up the cost, and people are still fighting over it. Like, what's the big idea as it pertains to that?
To answer your question, I think that Cyber Monday is probably the better deal day.
Yes.
Because whatever they didn't sell on Black Friday, they're going to be trying to get rid of it, so they're marking those prices down. But like you said, they do hike up the prices to begin with, just to bring it back to what it really was. Yeah. And I thought originally Cyber Monday was for electronic things.
Oh, because the whole cyber thing about it.
Yeah, I thought it was like for if you wanted cameras and games and stuff like that, you get it on Cyber Monday, and like clothes and houseware and stuff was fine.
Bree separate the whole thing, like cyber is electronic.
Yeah.
Clothes is over here.
Yeah.
So please label it for her so she knows exactly what she's shopping for.
Right.
I'm a huge Cyber Monday fan. I mean, I do all my shopping online. I do not like big crowds. I do not like big box stores. And I go online and I make it and I get it and I open it and I wrap it, and that's that. So there you go.
Well, it's your birthday, so you can buy whatever you want.
Yeah.
We have to buy stuff for you. It's his birthday. We're supposed to be buying a gift for Ryan.
I think for all these gifts.
Yes.
Coming up, we'll get into politics and what's happening in our communities. Plus, we're talking polyamorous relationships. Yep. You don't want to miss it when we come back on Truth Talks.
As we work to get through these times together, You may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
And welcome back to our show. True Talks is not just about Hollywood buzz and juicy gossip. We get into the political headlines that are most concerning to our community.
Now, Texas may be the first state to allow the Bible teachings back in elementary schools under an optional new curriculum, okay? The material adopted by the Texas State Board of Education, which is controlled by Republicans, passed by an 8-7 final vote.
That was close.
Now, the state is offering a financial incentive of $60 a student for participating in school districts.
This would affect English and language arts for kindergarten through 5th grade and could appear in classrooms as early as next school year. Okay, when I was growing up, y'all, there was an uproar about people having religion inside the public schools. But now that Trump is elected, it's okay again. Like, what is that about, Willie? Because I'm a Christian, but I don't know how I feel about that.
You know, if I can be honest with you, before everything changed, it was this young man named Donald. We was in the sixth grade, and I remember whenever we would do anything that had to do with religion, he would just have to sit at his desk. And we used to like pick fun at him, but then the teacher would be like, well, you know, he has a different religion. And we was like, it's a different religion? Like we didn't know anything about it because of course we were raised Christian. And I just would see his face and how hard that was for him because he was a child adopting the practices of his family. And I don't know what happened to Donald. And so for me, even as a Christian, as much as I believe the foundational principles are real, I believe in the infallible word of God, I just believe trying to push that on people when the First Amendment gives us the right and opportunity for freedom of religion. I think that's a little tough to push on people right now.
Yeah, and I think that as far as religion and what that family decides on, that's a parental thing. That's a family thing. I don't think a child should go to school and have religion be projected onto them because what religion are you going to teach at that point, right? Yeah. Some families are, you know, Catholic, some are Christian. So I just feel like that is something that you should leave to the parents to decide what religion they're going to practice in their home, or if no religion, are they going to do like a Buddhist practice? So people have so many different things.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember this, remember they was trying to take In God We Trust off of the money.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like all this government interference and all this other stuff, you know, like you said, it's a plethora of religions. So I think, you know, for most people, they should be able to practice what they want.
It gives dictatorship almost.
So here's the thing. Jesus was a strategist. You know, a lot of times we think Jesus just came over and just was like, you have to do it this way. Like, when you're doing the talking, you can be quiet. Ooh. And so a lot of times Jesus was walking, he often would do miracles and say, hey, don't tell nobody about this. But it just got so good to people, they're like, bruh, it's a man telling me everything. Like he was like, yo, let's keep it here. I think nowadays with this new administration, it's like beat people over the head and be strong about what it is. But at the end of the day, I appreciate them knowing that the infallible word of God is something that can change and sustain any system, whether it's business. I do business by the good book, but understanding also the Bible tells us that they will know us by our love.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a loving practice when you're telling people that you have to do it this way. Let people grow into what they believe they're supposed to be and try your best to be loving in it, because I believe your love will win over people more than your force.
But Willie, this is my fear when it comes to them like being so stronghold about forcing Christianity on everyone, because these are the same minded type of people who use the Bible to justify slavery and you know what I mean, and putting down other religions, or other types of people. So if they come into our school system and they force it on this, then they can start to manipulate what the Bible is to their will. So I feel like that's where I kind of see it going. That's what I'm afraid of. But I think that we need to just go back to, like you all have said here, just teaching and educating that there are people out here who are different than you.
Yeah.
They practice different things, and that doesn't make you better or them better. It just makes us different.
But I think it interrupts some of our amendments, our freedom to choice. It's a choice to be religious or not.
Yeah.
I mean, you have folks who are atheists. We're not, I'm not, but it is a choice to do that. And when you take away someone's choice, you're taking away their rights. And so to me, when you're in leadership as far as presidency or even elected official in your city ordinance or for the state, you're there to lead the people to the resources that they need to be a better society, not to a place that you want them to be in by projecting your values and your views and saying you have no choice and no free will, so you're just going to learn what we tell you we're going to learn, and we're going to pull back on what we think you don't need.
Yeah, and I think people are very judgmental. We saw what happened after 9/11. I mean, if anybody got onto a plane with any type of headgear on, they were automatically a terrorist. And it was bad, man. People getting removed off of planes. And I have a friend, her last name is Smash Jet.
What?
That is not her,
no,
real last name.
That's her maiden name and also her last name. So, but she's been on a no-fly list for almost 5 years now, because when she calls and goes to check in to the the boarding place, they say Smash Jet. They be like, no, you can't get on this plane.
You ain't being comedian, Ryan.
No, on my kid.
On your birthday.
On my kid.
All
on
right,
my birthday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I will not say her first name because she'll be mad because she worked for Homeland Security.
Okay.
But it's Smash Jet, and she gets automatically banned from the flight.
And that's what I'm saying. Having such practices like this in place definitely creates a distance between you and other people. And I think that there's a big gap for us to learn from one another and learn from our differences.
Yeah, the beauty of it is Jesus gave us free will.
Yeah.
And so if it's not free will, it's going to be unique.
All right, when we come back, if you think monogamy is outdated, then polyamory may be the lifestyle for you. You don't want to miss this when we come back.
Oh, goodness, for you.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
And we're back on True Talks. We're all familiar with polygamy, which involves a man taking on multiple wives. It's practiced in cultures worldwide. The most well-known examples of polygamous families in the U.S. are tied to Mormonism and in TV shows like Big Love and Sister Wives.
Now, polygamy is now known as polyamory, and it doesn't necessarily involve marriage or culture or religion. Both the man and the woman are allowed to take on other intimate partners and seek romance outside of their main relationship. Now, some may choose to cohabitate with all their partners, and that's their choice, I guess.
According to current research, approximately 4 to 5% of people in the United States identify as being in a consensually non-monogamous relationship, which includes polyamory, meaning that roughly 1 in 9, that means somebody in here got a whole bunch of women and men, people are currently practicing polygamy. Now, there are a lot of assumptions out there about this lifestyle. Let's take a look.
3 weird assumptions about our relationship. I have to be their beard because somehow they're gay.
We take turns getting her pregnant.
That somehow she forced me to be poly.
Polyamory sounds just like another excuse to cheat on your partner to me, but how is this any different from swinging or just plain on open relationships?
So,
come on, Doc.
So yeah, because I have some clients, and y'all know Nick is one of them, who is into polyamorous, which is different than polygamy. Similar, polygamy is what you said, Willie. It's like marrying multiple wives. And if they choose to, everyone can engage in sleeping together in sexual acts. Polyamorous is everybody's not married, but we have decided we can see other people and we're open and honest. So the difference between cheating and polyamorous is cheating is deception. You don't know I'm cheating. Polyamorous is you and I are together and we're both okay with you seeing other women, me seeing other men or women, whatever we choose to see, but we're together and there's an openness, but we don't get to see each other's other partners.
So y'all just put a little name on what granddaddy's been doing all that life. That's like, cause everybody got you got a secret child up there. I got an uncle down in Texas, I promise you. We went to the funeral and he had passed. Man, Dallas was so big that man had a whole nother family on the other side of town, 2 children, a whole nother house.
Wow.
And literally he had set it all the way up there. When he died, he took care of all the children and their mamas. So they just put a title on something that these cats been doing for a long time.
So, Doc, let me ask you this. If in that kind of relationship, is somebody eventually going to get jealous?
Or hurt?
Well, so usually, yes. I have clients who are exiting a polyamorous relationship and some exiting polygamy. And you're right, what happened is she or he no longer uses it. She no longer wants it because they want monogamy. They don't like sharing him. There's been a lot of, some type of turmoil between the women. But what's interesting is although she left this man, the women who have kids by him, they still co-parent the kids together.
Yes.
And they're still very much like sister wives. So they don't have a problem with each other. They just some of them check out just from him.
Because I think they probably do that because the children are involved and they have to keep the children, at friendly. They're still siblings at the end of the day. So you still want to have a mutual relationship with the other person, the other sibling's mom.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be disrespectful and petty in front of the kids. But like you said, I don't see how it benefits.
Somebody gonna get mad.
Somebody. And to me, it seems disrespectful. Like if a man wanted to do that, I would feel like, wow, you don't respect me or you don't see a long-term future.
And I want to say this, Willie, and I would love to hear your take on this, because biblically, back in the day, but this is the thing, back in the day, it was the rule that you can only have multiple wives if you had it to provide and take care of all of them. So nowadays, you got men who don't have the dough to have all these women who are just having women. Back in the day, at least the Bible said, listen, a man that can pay is a man that could play with multiple of his prey. But they're not doing that nowadays. So for me, I'm like, one, I am territorial of who I'm with, but two, I'm damn sure not sharing him with all of y'all, and I got to pay my own bills. Not doing that.
No, you know, the thing was, you know, back in the day, that's what it was. Like, we believed, back then, they believed that women were possessions. And so, you know, when Jesus came, he made sure that these, you know, divorce decrees, this divorce thing wouldn't go, because a woman was seen as useless and nothing. And so men were doing things and women couldn't go get jobs and all that other stuff. So he started to make sure that there were some rules that are in place to make sure women were protected even in biblical days.
Well, hello,
thank
Jesus.
God for Jesus.
Hello, Jesus.
So
Thank
with
God
all
for
the
Jesus.
overlapping partners, as many as 20 people can be romantically involved with each other in a polyamorous relationship, it's got to be exhausting. You know? I got to ask, because black women accounted for 50% of new HIV diagnoses in 2022. How do you know who gave you an STD when you playing Naked Twister? What are the rules?
I can't. I ain't never played in no games like that, so I can't tell you what the rules are. The rules in my life are, if I lick it, it's mine, and it can't go nowhere else. I don't share my lollipop with Dr. B, so I'm not gonna share nothing else with Dr. B. You feel me, Doc? It's just,
we can't even share shoes because your foot too big. So we can't share no man, girl.
We can't share nothing. I don't know. Like you said, I think it takes out the respect that you have, not only for the partner, but for your own body.
Right.
Because like you said, you know, once you have sex with somebody, especially unprotected, you're having sex with every other person that they ever had, especially if they doing it at the same, like in the same vicinity or the same time frame.
So in India, right, Taj Mahal, you know, so Taj Mahal is the king who has all these other beautiful homes that are like, they're palaces too, but there's one big palace for the main wife, and then he has, I don't know, I think it's like 6 other mini palaces, they're still gorgeous, where all the other women stay in. So Taj Mahal is actually a place built for the man and his polygamous wives, and they all live in their own homes with their own kids and families. They're not allowed to cross-section, if I'm not mistaken, but they are allowed to have their own palace. But back to the biblical concept, the main king takes care of all the houses, and all these women are in palaces, and they're all queens, but there's only one main queen that stays in the main Taj Mahal with him. And I visited the Taj Mahal. It was gorgeous. I still wouldn't stay in no palace, just
Did they invite
to
you
be
to
with no
stay or
man.
no?
I didn't see the king. I don't want to take me to the king.
I was about to hit you with it. They better take you to the
But
king.
it's not like one man can't satisfy all them women. So if you ain't gonna touch me, I might could be a part of it.
Well, you never know. They got medicine. Praise the Lord. You know, we've already talked about like jealousy and trust issues. There has to be there, especially when there's partners and added into the mix. The bigger question becomes is, you know, when it comes to connecting with so many people.
Right.
I believe that everybody carry different spirits. And so when you are allowing people to be intimate and you being touched and you having intercourse, like a lot of times when you come out, you just think that's a physical act. This is a spiritual act. Like even when you think about how children are conceived. Like children come from God, they just come through parents. So when it comes to this, I'm just like, man, 22 different spirits, I'd probably be walking around like Beetlejuice because it's like too many things going on. Like that's really scary for me.
I want to ask a question because I read like little men's health books and all that kind of stuff. Is it code for a woman cannot have sex with more than one man in one day?
Wait, what?
Is it code?
Yeah.
Is that a girl code?
No, yeah. I mean, like, you know, if you had sex with somebody, could you have sex with another man later on if you had sex with somebody?
I wouldn't want to do that, but could I physically and
No, I don't mean physically, but I'm like,
in my
is it acceptable?
Okay,
is it acceptable to have sex with more than one man in one day?
So for me personally, no. I guess for Bree, no either. No. For some women, I mean, I'm sure that they're on a roll doing their thing. I
think those are sex workers, and that's so. No, I'm not judging sex workers.
I don't mean prostitutas.
I don't see what the benefit for a woman would be to have multiple sex partners with a guy if she wasn't if it wasn't transactional. You get what I mean? So I think that if you have your feelings involved, I think that it's hard to love someone and lay down, like you said, and exchange those spirits with someone and then get up and go do the same with you. Somebody's not, there's a lack of feelings for someone there.
With the same man, like my ex-fiance, y'all's, we was having a lot of sex in one day. Do that count?
No, he's saying different men.
We
could go round for round.
That's going
round for round.
Girl, I go round for round.
But like with multiple partners, what if one of them get pregnant? Like, how do you know who the baby daddy is the real question.
I don't know. That's the crazy part. they gotta be on birth control or Plan B'd up.
And to that, I always tell women, if you wouldn't want your son to be like him, you should not label him, because pregnancy happens by two ways, accident or planned, and most of them are accidents. So if I wouldn't want my son to be like this man, I don't want this man to be in me.
Yeah.
That's just me. Same thing for men. If you don't want your daughter to be like her, you shouldn't be in her.
You right.
I'm not procreating with her.
Well, I don't like to share my man, so this ain't for me. But I can't understand how men look at a woman who has multiple partners and is okay with that and not label her a hoe. Like, you know, I think it's always been a double standard. So that's why I said I don't think that a man who's okay with you having multiple partners really respects you. I think in the back of his mind, and fellas, y'all can let me know if I'm wrong, y'all still look at her as a hoe, especially if you know that she doing it with somebody else when you're not around. What y'all think?
I just don't think women should have a rotation.
A rotation, not the rotation.
You just got, you know, you got a guy on Monday, a guy on Tuesday, a guy on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's a rotation.
That's a rotation.
It's a rotation.
So even if she was open and honest with you, and I know hypothetically speaking for both of y'all, but if they were open and honest with you guys, like, hey, I do sleep with someone else and it's okay for you, you still look at that as a hoe.
No, just don't. We're not gonna do all that.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't wanna know.
I'm all good. Just don't tell. Play with me.
Yeah, lie to me, baby.
Just lie to me a little
sound
bit.
way better.
Whew, that hurt.
All right, up next, who's actually benefiting from polyamory and at what expense? You don't want to miss it when we come back on Truth Talks.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's put a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
And welcome back to Truth Talks. To no one's surprise, the younger generations are much more open to non-monogamous relationships.
Man.
With almost 60% of Gen Zers either waiting, wanting, or having an open or polyamorous relationship.
Ryan, to your point, studies say that Gen Zers are more gender fluid and sexually open and use these types of relationships to explore their identities and desires. Social media has also played a major role and allowed them to see models of non-traditional relationships.
Now, this seems fun for young singles, but does this lifestyle really make sense as you get older and gray? And you start to have families. Got to try to start thinking about the children being involved. How does that work and what's the thought process, Bree?
I think that a lot of the younger generation, this is not me, because maybe I'm traditional or have an old school viewpoint when it comes to things like that. Like I said, I think I'm a serial monogamous. Yeah, I think I've always been in relationships. It's hard for me to stay single, actually. But I think that the younger generation, I've heard them say, it's all about the experience. I just want to experience you. I want to have a connection. So they're more like, their intimacy is based off the vibe. Or like, I want to feel it out. So I might vibe with Ryan about music, but then I might vibe with you about spirituality. So I think I should have a relationship with both because we connect on different levels. That's how they're thinking. But I think that it's just because they, like you said, haven't gotten older and they're not thinking about a family, because I don't see how it could work out for the children unless it does become that sister-wife situation where, like you were talking about, the mothers of the children band together and raise the kids together. Now, if you're going to take care of my kids for me, who am I to stop you?
Yeah, one can do the hair.
Right.
The other one can cook.
I'm going to be at work, and then you're going to be
make sure we take care of everything.
I think it's just a very surface, superficial culture right now, where a lot of folks don't have a sense of self. They don't have a connection with self, and so they're not aware of like who they are, what they want. And I think that sex is a way for them to feel a very false connection. It's also a way for them to feel validated, not just the girls now, but the young men or boys too. And so I feel like that is their way of connecting. And that's why the relationships aren't lasting. We have the highest depression rate and suicidal rate amongst these young teenage kids and young adults than we've ever had. And suicide, although I don't condone it in any race, used to be a white thing. Suicide has crept over to now being a black young boy thing because of my clients who are in session are talking about how empty and lonely they are. I'm like, huh? How are you lonely at 16, 17, 18? How much anger they have and frustration they have toward their parenting issues that they're not able to process out, and traumas that they are not aware of, but they're on social media hearing all these trauma triggering words like depression and triggering and trauma and dysfunction, and they're starting to identify themselves with those things and not know how to process those things.
And I see it a lot, I mean, with the young people that I deal with, either through my foundation or even in the workforce, is a whole lack of accountability and responsibility. They just don't want to be involved, but they also have the sense of entitlement, which is kind of like a big, confusing thing. Like, how are you going to not want to take control of your life, but you want to just do whatever you want to do? I think that's it's a misconception for a lot of young people. And when it comes to sex, a lot of these young people, they're learning how to have sex from pornography. So they think how they're supposed to do it is what they see on the pornography, which is, do whatever you need to do and do it as hard as you can and fast as you can, and there's no intimacy in that.
Get off of me, all that pounding, okay?
Pound town don't get her down.
There are some folks out there that are making it work, though, so let's take a look and see how they doing it. It's all three
are pregnant at the same time.
Oh, I know their household is. Talk about trauma. I feel like that's a lot of trauma.
Did he have on a Black Panther Wakanda sweater?
Yeah, he did.
He was hitting with that vibranium.
And probably don't have a Wakanda dollar to take care of those poor babies.
Man, that man look like he's doing pretty good though with
I mean, they all seem happy.
My thing is, if everybody, because they say that when women start to hang around each other, they get their cycle at the same time.
We sync up like Bluetooth.
It sync up like Bluetooth. I'm not gonna say nothing, but like I just don't know how. I'm sure he's gonna take a vacation during that week. Oh, I'm letting you know, he gonna take a vacation during that week.
Look, he got 3 of them pregnant, so for 9 months he's dealing with all of that at the same time. That's a lot. You can't run from that.
All right, the gossip seems to be that, men are gonna step outside the relationship anyway, especially if he's got good money, good looks, or influence. But this is everyday men. People are always complaining they can't find a good man or a woman. And all the blogs and the podcasts are filled with women, especially in our culture, saying they can't find one good man. So ladies, I need to know, what incentive is there for you to get into this type of arrangement? Just please, what would be a reason that somebody would want to do this?
So personally, there's nothing that can tell me on this, right? But again, from hearing it from my clients, and then, even from my sessions with Nick Cannon, right? It's like, for some reason, they believe that, or they don't believe, they feel like there's a family feel, there's a village feel. And so for them, it's not so much predicated on sex, which the people like us on the outside are looking like it's a lot of sex going on. It's really a lot of support and family, like a village feel from what I see and from what they share. It's the mothers co-parenting, raising the kids together. the one man is actually attempting to provide for all of these women. And I've even had clients who are like, well, I'm going out of town, so all my kids are going to the one mama's house, and then next week she's taking vacation, they're all coming with me. I'm picking up her kids, she's picking up my kids from school. So for them, it seems like there's this village thing going on about it. But I don't know, my client today asked me, Doc, do you think my daddy issues has something to do with me being in the polyamorous relationship? Because I want to remove and get out of that. And it did have a lot to do with that. So.
Yeah. I think also the women that I know that have benefited from it or engaged in this type of lifestyle, they often only do it when the man is really rich and can really fund their lifestyle, as well as has a lot of influence. So with being such and such baby mama nowadays, you automatically become a celebrity as well, or you get certain benefits. So I think it comes, again, from transactional reciprocation. Like, okay, I'm gonna receive a lot of money. All my bills are paid. My bank account is nice. You know what I mean? He comes in and we only have to do it like once a month or twice a month. So it's very like less responsibility, like you said, than a traditional relationship, because you're not catering to him 24/7 all day long, and you still get the benefits of being taken care of, as well as the more influence he has. Like I said, the more benefits you get out on social media in the world, when you want to go to Saks or when you want to go certain places, you get all the same benefits as a celebrity. So that's why they doing it. I don't care who you got, how much money you got in your bank account, or how much influence, baby. If you're mine, clink, clink.
Well, a lot of them don't have all that money, so.
Let me just say this. Shout out to Keisha. You was in, you called my show, and you said you would rather cry in a Lamborghini than to cry in a Honda Accord, and that's why you stick around. I understand, baby, if that's what you're doing. Now, there's a lot of talk about these relationships being empowering for women because they're openly expressing the sexual freedom and identity, but I'm sure there are those who are getting dragged into these arrangements by pressure. The assumption that nobody is being harmed may be short-sighted and naive. Dr. B, is this empowering for women? It's said that women are the fastest growing population starting the polyamorous relationships. So does this make them feel empowered, or do you see that there's something that's hurting on the inside?
Absolutely not. I'm seeing that these women are, again, entering into something that they believe is going to be this village-like, family-like, something they've always wanted. And then by the time they're already integrated into it, they're like, what did I get myself into? This one man can't possibly fulfill all of us. And as women mature and maturation comes into place, they start to realize that they need more than just a village and more than just sex. And so they want that man one-on-one, and that man only has so much time, right? And so not only does a woman have a deficit emotionally in every other way, but she's finding out, to Bree's point, that her children also are having a father that has to spread himself thin amongst multiple kids. And now he has, what I always say, broken homes, and he has all these houses that are homeless.
And you call
and that ends up being,
and that's low function.
And it's called low functioning behavior, y'all. Okay, low functioning.
We're learning. You know, it's so funny that you say that, because my favorite book says that when it's asking you to, like, literally, and it's coming to my remembrance, like, flee all sexual immorality, because it just doesn't bring glory to God. And then the second part, actually, in that same scripture, it says that this is the only time that you sin against your own body.
Wow.
So if I lie to you, you know, that ain't really against me. If I deceive you, that ain't really against me. But when you choose sexual immorality, you actually sinning against yourself.
That's deep.
And so that was the biggest challenge for me, because I was like, I didn't really see it like that. But if God gave me a temple, and he's saying, your body, your temple, your body, your temple, and you decide to put Goodwill furniture into your temple, it doesn't look like a palace anymore. So when you spread yourself so thin, you kind of understand that, man, I'm not treating myself like the royalty that I am. So to my young ladies who are here, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, I'm the first person to tell you that I've done a lot, mainly because of the things that I've been through. But if you start to view your body as your temple, if you realize that when you partake in sexual immorality, you say, wait a minute, I'm sinning against myself. You're not going to beat yourself up. You're not going to run yourself into traffic. You're not going to do those things. But what you're doing spiritually is saying, man, I am not worth the bigger goal that God has for my life, and you're not treating your body like a temple, and that's why you're depressed, because he depressed, and you letting all this stuff come in. So just be very careful. Sex is something that they promote so much, it's so good, but I'll tell you, I've been hurt by some of the sexual partners that I've been with, and not because of the things that they did physically, but because of the things that they were carrying that was sticking to me. So I literally had to pray and say, Lord, I come against the spirit of Jasmine, Keisha, and Leslie. I don't want that in me no more. Like, you ever been around somebody who cuss all the time, and then you find yourself in there like, it's because you're just picking up because you're in the environment.
That's because the environment will change you before you change it.
Yeah, but
see, come on.
But mine is totally different than that. I mean,
here it comes.
Oh, here you go, right?
You know,
of course it's different.
As a night jock, my show was from 6 to 9. That's I was 3 hours on the radio, and I was in my 20s. And the only people who worked that kind of shift was dancers and waitresses. And I knew at a certain point when it got out of hand is when I looked over and I was like, who are you? Who is that?
Like you ain't even know her name.
Because it was just
a rotation.
Because it was so prevalent. And that, I mean, you know, when you're going down that road, and it was bad because one time I was with a young lady and she was like, oh my God, my dream has come true. And I was like, what? She was like, you came to my school.
Ryan.
And I was like, I got to get married.
I got to get married.
It's a true story.
Crazy.
That's a true story.
That's
because when you've been doing something for 20,
when you've been
doing something for 25, no, it's not, no, I don't mean.
No,
she was grown.
Okay,
but I'm just saying.
I grew up listening to Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, you're grown now, but I'm just saying, like, it was like, what? You know, like if you been listening to me for that long and now you become an adult and now you in the club and now you hanging out. I mean,
here go the thing, Ryan, and listen, I'm gonna put myself on blast too, because literally when I'm in college and I go back to certain things, they be like, they'll get me on Instagram and they're like, hey, I'm like, do I know you? Right. And the question in the back of my head is, did we?
No, this is how it used to be with us.
We didn't.
Willie,
did we or no?
Wow.
This is what it would be with us. It'd be like this. It'd be like, hey, do I know you? Or do I know you? And that's a difference.
Thank God nobody ever asked me that. But to your point about like what it does to your body, no, for sure. What it does to your body, I think about the children, like what it's even teaching them and what it's showing them. Because like as a young woman in a polyamorous relationship, and then you have a daughter that's seeing you do this, it's like, are you teaching your daughter that it's okay to be a side chick, or it's okay, or not? I guess they're not side chicks.
In their world, they're not side chicks.
But is it okay? Are you telling her that she's not worthy of someone loving her whole and in her totality, and them being loved the same way? And then are you teaching your sons that it's a requirement, or you should have multiple women?
See, but they look at it like it's more love. I know that's for us because we're not into that. They look at it like there's more love for the village, for the kids, and for the women, and more support. They're not looking at it like we are because we're monogamous. We're looking at it like we're having to spread the love. They're looking at it like there's more love to share.
Doc, is that a mental health issue?
I wouldn't put that on someone's choice of polyamorous. I think that's
unless you're on a podcast and you come out that way.
Is it mental health?
It's mental health. That's what's wrong with you. You're low functioning. Your mind ain't right. You got daddy issues and sister issues.
You're a narcissist.
Yeah, when it becomes an issue is when it's deception. If there's no deception, everyone is in free will making a decision. So I don't think someone's choice is what makes them have a mental health issue. I think it's the impairment that comes with their decision that can cause a mental health issue.
I can see that. I think it kind of, to me, I don't mentally.
That's a whole community.
Yeah, I think to me, like mentally, what is telling you it's okay to, that's like sharing panties. You get what I'm saying?
That's worse than sharing panties.
That's what I'm saying, but I wouldn't even do.
Hey,
what mentally is telling you that that's okay? To me, that is a mental health issue.
Women, listen, we're just putting titles on it. Women been having women intuitions for years.
Right.
They know when a man done stepped out.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, my mama tell you to this day, she'd be like, you know what? I knew his ass was doing something. You know, she 83 and my daddy 93. I was like, Daddy been faithful the whole time? I don't know, but I knew his ass was doing something. I just couldn't catch him. I was like, you couldn't catch him? He was like, because wasn't nothing going on. That's what it was. I was
Daddy better take it to the grave.
And he take it to the grave. But I think think now putting titles on it, it kind of brands it as something that's good. And America and culture has always made good bad and bad good. And then once you put a marketing plan behind it, people are taking this different option. Like, you know, when people are molested and they go through so many things as a child, thank God during that time there weren't so many options. People were saying, hey man, that was just an incident. Right. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
This is who you are called to be, and this is what you made to be. I can only imagine growing up with some of the things that these men who just got out of jail did to people in our neighborhood, and grown women that did these things to these young boys and young women. Like, there weren't options, so they were able to overcome it. But whenever you brand something that's new, people are gonna gravitate to it. And I just feel like at this point, we're in need of a savior. And that's why I go out here and rep faith and love God and build a bridge and cuss a little bit and be relevant. But at the end of the day, I know where the answer lies. And for for us, it's in Christ.
But I think just being honest is always the main thing. And that's the one thing I admire most about you. You know, you came from that world, but you bring it into the present day. And I think a lot of times you have to tell people, you know, how you used to live and how you used to be, because, you know, a lot of times, man, people just try to be where they are now, but not where they came from. You know, I got out the mud, but, you know, it was some, I mean, come on, I grew up in the Freaknik era. I was Mr. Freaknik. I know all about that. I ain't in the documentary. I ain't in the documentary. But, you know, I mean, I saw all this rambunctious, raucous revelry in real time, you know, so it is what it is. You know, coming up next, we're going to answer one of our viewers' questions in unpopular opinion. Maybe it's your question.
Maybe it's you.
Don't go away.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
And welcome back, truth tellers. People will often call you a hater for not going along with the crowd, but let's be real. Just saying what people are scared to say out loud.
Listen, y'all, we received a DM from a viewer, and it said, why don't we promote vasectomies more to men so their wives or partners can avoid unwanted pregnancies? And I'm going to add this, and they can avoid all these broken homes and multiple kids by multiple
women.
Yeah.
And they become low
Let
functioning.
the choir say.
Yes. Well,
I love
women
y'all.
are so often responsible for the birth control. And with all this talk about abortion now, studies show that vasectomies are 99% effective. Plus, side effects are really rare. So why aren't we leaning more towards that as birth control for guys?
Guys don't even go to the doctor for an annual checkup.
You right.
So trying to get a man to cut himself off is sometimes unique. Don't get me wrong. Here's the thing. I have a few partners, and they said, you know what? I'm done. I don't want no more kids. I'd rather take this little snip than to keep getting my check took, right?
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
But for me, you know, when I'm 60, I might want to drop something off, so I'm keeping mine.
Wait, so when you get a vasectomy, is that when they cut your balls off? What are they cutting off?
No, that is not what happened.
They don't
They
cut your
not
balls
cutting
off?
my balls
So
off.
I want to give a shout out to the Georgia Urology Clinic. Back in the day when I was still married the first time, my spouse had very, very painful periods. It was almost debilitating. And so I went out and I had the no scalpel technique, which means basically they just made a little slit and you know, I was laying on the table and they tied it up and they sealed it off and basically I got a vasectomy. That's been maybe, I don't know, 20
So you can't
years
have
ago.
no more kids?
No,
Well, and then you
I
got-
don't want no more
Then you
kids.
got to ice for like, is it 24 hours, right?
Well, that was the craziest thing ever because
Had
you
to ice
suppose
for a long
I
time.
actually broke the rules and went and did a basketball game the next day.
no.
And I was sitting on frozen peas, and when I went back to get my checkup, the doctor called everybody in the room and was like, tell them what you did. Tell them what you did.
my
And I was like, I went and did a basketball game, and they all just busted out laughing because like, who would do something that crazy? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You're
But
supposed to-
as far as the sensation goes, nah, nothing has changed. It's just as you know. And I want to give another shout out to my sex counselor, Dr. Rudolph Skidovsky.
Skidovsky.
Now that's a joke. I'm done.
Oh my God.
Y'all look at I put the hook right in y'all mouth. Ain't nobody-
But I have to say this, some men, right, because I don't have any kids, and I want kids, so I dated a guy who we was dating, and I was like almost 6 months into it, he was like, okay, I gotta talk to you, baby. He's like, I talked to my boys about it, you know, I just been a little scared to tell you, and I'm like, what is he gonna tell me? He's like, but, you know, he's like, and one of my boys told me, just say it, dog, if she really like you, she ain't gonna trip. And I'm at the table like,
What?
he's like, I know you want, I had a vasectomy. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Because that means we can plan this because it could be reversed.
Right. Yeah.
So what we
It can be reversed?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
baby.
They just
So
tie it back together.
Come on, but see, ours can't, theirs can. So I said, listen, this is amazing. So, when we decide to do the do, as we're doing the do, we don't have to, we're good. Until I decide to have kids, we can reverse. He was like, I would 100% reverse it for you, but I was scared you would not want to deal with me. And I'm like, no, we can reverse it. No big deal.
Oh my God, then that totally
That's
means
genius.
men need to get this instead of women get on birth control.
Brie, is it not genius?
Birth control, it literally, the different forms that we have as women is known as a level 1 carcinogenic. So we're literally putting cancer into our bodies. We're changing our genetic makeup. When y'all can just go get a snip that
Don't be
can
pointing at me. I have mine.
But do you
Tony
think,
Willis.
I'm
right,
saying,
but isn't it
Go
genius?
get a
so
snip.
Or you can run and gun.
Men can go get a snip and it won't even cause y'all harm.
Yeah,
It doesn't change the
but-
sensation and it can be reversed. Duh.
On
no
paper-
fucking
yeah.
brainer.
On
I mean,
paper-
no brainer.
On paper, that sound good.
But Bree, the psychological effects of it, right? So there's good and bad.
It doesn't cut their balls off. So
It
what's the
doesn't,
difference?
but psychologically, for some men, not right, because he's still being the king over there. But for some men, psychologically, it can create a hormone imbalance with their testosterone, right? To where some of them start to feel more, not a high percentage, more feminized because they have took out something down there that's close to their prostate, which is that snippet, if it's not done right. A lot of men, those studies have shown, are actually having heightened sex lives.
Yeah.
They have no mental blockage
At all.
when they're being intimate and having sex, even if it's with their wife.
So it's a very few but low
Very
side
few
effects,
side
but not as
effects.
much.
It's pretty much none.
Not as much side effects as birth control has on women. So
That's
I
true.
think
So
it's
on
safer.
paper, listen, I didn't see the numbers like that, and I didn't know. So I feel like I've been enlightened.
Yeah.
So thank you,
How
Bree.
enlightened are you?
Go
really?
get snipped.
We
But I-
never
but I
getting
have a-
snipped.
I
Let's
have
get
a
that out the
question- I have
way.
a question for
Just
you
in
men,
case, I
right?
love children.
I have
Come
a question
on.
for the men because this
Yes.
happened to one of my guy friends. He had a vasectomy. The woman didn't know, and she was playing this "I'm pregnant" prank. And he called me. He's like, "Shy." She said she's pregnant. I said, "How?" He goes, "That's my saying." He said, "I told her, baby, if you pregnant, we're gonna be billionaires because I'm suing the hell out of the doctor who
Hey,
did my vasectomy."
I
So,
say the same thing.
Right,
If,
has that,
if you
okay,
got a
Ryan,
baby
has
by
that,
me, his name gonna be G.
Ryan, has that ever happened to you? Since you had the vasectomy, has that
Yeah.
ever happened to you where a woman claims she's pregnant and you
No,
knew?
because that's almost like you know, like Willie said about going to get a checkup. Also, you don't have these discussions about your sexuality and your sexual practices as well. You just lay down and it gets horizontal. But if you tell somebody, hey, I'm on birth control, a lot of times it's always like, okay, well, let me just stick the head in, and next thing you know, is this goosh? And then you talking about, uh-oh, I got to go to the drugstore, I got to get the plan.
And birth control isn't always 100% accurate either. So.
You don't act like you don't know this.
No, I'm laughing at the
I'm about to tell all
Not,
these men.
not so much of a funny thing, but one of my dearest friends, she was married, I want to say 15 years, and they have been trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. 2 years before they got divorced, she found out that he had a vasectomy.
I already knew.
Because he was trying his best to like reverse it and do all of that. Now here's the thing, she a great friend. I was so hurt, and I tried to keep my face straight, but I know how much she wanted a child that I literally broke down in tears. I said, I hate to be this way. I said, I'm not crying so much for what happened to you, but I know the desire that you had. And so, man, you know, if you have that and you have a high-powered woman that you love, I think it's important to be honest and just make sure that they know. Like a person like Dr. B, who's doing all of this, I'm thankful that she encountered a man who was saying, hey, babe, I don't know how to say this, but I want to do it, and give her the choice. Like, give her the right choice.
And baby, the sex turned up after that. I said, we can't get pregnant.
Right.
That's all you had to tell me, Big Papa.
Well, speaking of honest, man, happy birthday, Ryan.
We love you. Nothing says a good birthday show than talking about vasectomy. Is that right? We have more candid conversations on Truth Talks. Make sure you find us on YouTube or DM us on all of our socials and let us know what you think of vasectomies, all right? Thank you for watching.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Hey, what up, Truth Tellers? It's your nephew, Willie Moore Jr., host of Truth Talks. In case you missed it, you can catch up on all the fun and drama on our previous episodes by visiting foxsoul.com. Head on over to YouTube and search Truth Talks. Tell a friend to tell another friend. In fact, don't meet me there. Beat me there.